All right, Miami fans, this has not been the best day or so of recruiting, but they got a commitment yesterday too. So I'm going to go over a couple of things with Miami's recruiting situation. It is bizarre, and I'm a little bit flustered right now, and I just wanted to kind of get this out there. So yesterday, Romanas Frederique, a kid I think has a very high ceiling, cornerback that just transferred to STA over in Fort Lauderdale, obviously one of the best programs in the country, committed to the University of Miami, flipping from West Virginia. Obviously, very good news for the Hurricanes. Mario Cristobal and his staff got him on campus, and he did well at the camp not that long ago and was just a really good player. They also got a commitment, ironically, from another St. Thomas Aquinas cornerback, again, Ryan Mack, who's been with that program for quite a long time. That was this past Monday. So that's good too. But today they lost out on Ricky Knight to Florida State, and then they just lost out on Ja'Cory Barney, who plays at Palmetto, right down the road from the University of Miami. And that's kind of hard to accept in general, but he picked Nebraska. Look, straight up, Nebraska has not been a good football program for quite a while. Hats off to Matt Rule and his staff. They did a better job than Miami did. That's just reality. They went after him like he was an A-plus guy very early. Miami did not. That's what I've been told. How accurate that is, I don't know. But I do know that Nebraska made him a priority. That I'm very, very certain of. The kid wants to go somewhere where he's wanted. It's pretty typical. And it's to some degree saying that I hear a lot at camps, combines, private conversations. Go where you're wanted more than go where you want to go. Because those two things aren't always the same. And if you're not wanted, it's not going to work out. Is Nebraska a long way from the University of Miami? Yeah. Is it a long way from the south part of Miami where Palmetto High School is? Yeah. But he was wanted. So from that perspective, good for him. But back to the University of Miami. Are they making any errors here? That's debatable. And here's why. You get 85 scholarships. 85. There's till they absolutely know for fact that Jeremiah Smith isn't coming, they're going to recruit him and save him scholarship. I mean, you have to. His teammate, Joshisa Trader, uncommitted. I've talked to him I don't even know how many times. He's going to make a very late decision. That's unfortunate for Miami, but to accommodate his mother, this is specifically about his mom. She wants to go on his visits. She's not going to be able to go until the fall. Fair enough. Miami is going to get one of his trips. So is Florida, so is Florida State, so is Georgia, so is Ohio State. Maybe a sixth to Penn State, but I bet he ends up only taking about 3 or 4 of those. He'll get wore out. Miami will get one of the trips. Then there's also, this is the interesting one, and I haven't talked to him in a while. Lawayne McCoy is committed to the Noles, but he's at Central. He's a kid that grew up liking Miami a lot. Florida State went after him harder than Miami did, allegedly. I don't know if I buy that or not. Early on in the process, they got him to commit, but I think he might end up with Miami's class. This is recruiting. This is South Florida. Anything can go, so he may not, but that's just my gut. That's a little bit of what I've heard. Wayne's a great player, so maybe there's a spot there. Did this mean they shouldn't have went after Barney faster than they did? Different approach in multiple ways? Probably. Did Miami do its best effort here? Not likely. I'll have to find out more to know. But as of right now, I would say Miami was a little bit behind the ball. I heard they didn't really put the full court press on until the last couple of weeks, if even that. And that's just not going to get it done when another school went after him for months. So it is what it is. They also lost out Sportser, the offensive lineman. That wasn't shocking. He picked Pittsburgh. He's a little closer to there, and he's a little more familiar with it. That's an international recruitment where the kid came over, so I'm not going to hold Miami accountable for that. That's part of the deal. You're going to miss on more kids than you get, and it's a kid who wasn't in South Florida. They've also, they've missed on some other kids. Kid from Texas picked Texas A&M's, etc. So basically, is the sky falling? No. Is what's happened still fixable to a certain degree? Of course. December 20th, National Signing Day. Today is July 1st. July 1st. So there's a long way to go. And there's also the point about this. With these kids, especially in South Florida, because its history's full of the following, there's going to be a player or two that develops that's on that fringe that maybe he's got an offer from FAU or whatever right now. Pick a position. And he ends up being a Florida State, Miami, Clemson, Texas A&M kind of guy. There's going to be a kid like that in South Florida. That's what Miami is famous for. It's finding diamonds in the rough, especially during their senior year. They've always gotten a kid like that, almost always. Why not this year? And on top of that, again, and it's just the way it's playing out, a lot of the kids they really want specifically at receiver are just making late decisions. And I know, like, again, Jeremiah Smith has made a decision to commit to Ohio State, but he's taken official visits, so I don't really consider him committed. I just consider Ohio State the strong leader. That's, again, my personal opinion. You're going to recruit those guys. So they've already got Chance, and he's reaffirmed his commitment to the University of Miami. Chance Robinson, a kid at St. Thomas Aquinas, is a Hurricane. That's a hell of a start at your wide receiver spot. If they wanted to, and he's played it before, Romanas Frederique played receiver. He could end up there too. Dylan Day, the safety / receiver / cornerback out of Baton Rouge, could play receiver if you wanted him to, and he could play corner, he could play whatever. So they got different pieces here, and that's another reason why I'm not as worried about this as some other people. As the old saying goes, let the smoke settle, and we'll kind of count up everything then. But right now, it's just been a bad day for Miami, and they've missed out on like 5 out of the last 6 or something like that. And that's just kind of the way recruiting is. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. Miami's still at 14 commitments. They've still got a top 25 class, and they're in on a ton of kids. Again, most of the top players, though, and I've just been using receiver as an example, and it extends to D-line, et cetera, probably aren't going to make decisions until the fall or even right around signing day. So Miami's playing the long game. They're going after 4 and 5 star kids. This is part of the deal, man. It's part of the deal. You're not always going to get the elite players, and unfortunately, when you miss on them, if they make that decision late, you may not have a spot, but that's what the portal's for, et cetera. Mario Cristobal and his staff have done a really good job up until this point for the most part, but they have missed on some kids. It is what it is. So anyway, just wanted to kind of say that. I'm going to have a little more detail. Going to try to figure out a few more things between now, tomorrow, and probably into the early week to get more background on this. I'm not sure on how many different kids I'll find out things, but kind of give a state of recruiting on offense and defense where I think they're at. Maybe do 2. It could be kind of long. It's a good 2-part series, maybe 3. Hey, where are we at quarterback? Hey, where are we at linebacker, et cetera, and kind of figure it out. But Miami's recruiting is not completely up here where we normally think it should be with somebody like Cristobal leading the charge, but it's not down here either. Somewhere in between. So with that being said, please like this podcast. Please hit that notification bell and share it. And above all else, please like this in the sense that you like it enough to comment on it. Let's hear your thoughts. Do you agree with what's going on? Should they recruit more South Florida kids? Should they put in more effort on South Florida kids earlier? Whatever it is, let's talk about it. Please make a comment, and I'll be happy to get back with you. This is Brian Smith. Everybody have a good day.